Hi, I'm Stephanie Reed, the 2024 President of PRSA New Jersey. Welcome to New Ways to Connect Clients and Communicators in New Jersey. Before we get started, I just want to thank our sponsors, MWW, Mike Worldwide, and the Rutgers University School of Communications, Communication Department. Just a few notes before we get started. I want to let you know that we are recording today's session. Once we finish today's session, we will send an email that has a link to the event survey. After you complete the survey, you'll receive a unique link to access the recording. And that link will be unique to you. You'll need your registration email to access the files. And I just wanted to remind you about a couple of upcoming programs that we have. On Thursday, we have another Lunch and Learn, AI in Focus, the PR Evolution. That will be held on Thursday, July 18th at noon. And we have our Pyramid Awards, which will be held this fall. And the award submission deadline for this year has been extended to July 23rd at 11:59 p.m. And I just wanted to be very clear about the time that we are closing. We wanted to extend the deadline just a bit to make sure people had time to take their summer breaks, focus on their work, but also take time to acknowledge the work that they and their clients and colleagues have done over the past year, 2023, to get in some additional submissions. So I've introduced myself. Joining us today, we have Simon Locke. Simon is the founder and CEO of CommunicationsMatch, Town Hub, and multiple PR agencies. And he also is the vice president of the Foreign Press Association. Simon is a former leader of communications functions at Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, and Prudential Financial. He's written more than 200 articles on communications and marketing topics and is the author of research reports and guides on the agency search process. And he's established partnerships with diverse industry associations to support diversity and inclusion efforts. So before we get into today's session, Simon, is there anything that you wanted to open with?
No, I would like to say thank you. I appreciate the time and the opportunity to work with you and the chapter to hopefully make a difference to agencies and corporate communications teams. That's kind of what I think, in a way, what we're all about, right?
Absolutely. Good. And so for those of you who are joining from the chapter, I just wanted to share with you a little bit of background on why PRSA New Jersey and CommunicationsMatch have partnered. CommunicationsMatch has a search and online RFP tools that are used by companies to find and shortlist and engage PR, digital, and marketing agencies, as well as consultants and freelancers who have expertise in specific capabilities. Up until, I guess our most recent data show that more than 260,000 searches and more than 600,000 profile views have been conducted on the platform since it launched in 2007. So mostly larger PRSA New Jersey companies are on the platform through the National Find a Firm platform. We entered into this partnership because we want PRSA Find a Firm New Jersey search tools to be the most comprehensive search tool for New Jersey agencies. So having as many people as possible, specifically PRSA members on the platform, will increase its value as a resource. So although we want to give agencies profiles, this is a powerful tool specifically for independent consultants and freelancers and service providers. So while clients may be looking for an agency of record assignment or for an agency for projects or to promote individual business units, a consultant might be the right fit, and they may need professionals on a contract basis for long or short-term assignments. So we're encouraging members, you included, to post RFPs through Find a Firm to facilitate making those connections, shortlisting your options, and reaching decisions to conduct business with new partners in the Garden State. So with that, we will talk a little bit about the growth of PR and communications industry. So the occupational outlook for the comms and PR industry is pretty positive overall. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects employment of PR and communications professionals will grow 6% between 2022 and 2023, which represents more growth than the average of all other occupations, which is about 3%. So this translates to approximately 25,000 new openings annually over that 10-year period. So whether we're talking about corporations, nonprofits, consultancies, or agencies, generating new business leads will continue to be crucial for PR and communications personnel during this period of growth. Companies will not grow or thrive without having a steady stream of leads, because they're the lifeblood of any business, and that contributes to the company's bottom line. Just as securing media coverage and endorsements from influencers helps build trust and credibility with current and potential clients. Our effective PR campaigns raise brand awareness and get a company's message in front of a wider audience. And this heightened level of visibility can attract new leads who may not have been aware of the company before. And as we all know, as PR professionals, we're always building relationships with journalists, with influencers, with stakeholders. And these networks can be a treasure trove of new leads because we're always in close contact with those partners. So Simon, a question for you would be, with the projected industry growth over the next several years, how might CommunicationsMatch support New Jersey-based PR companies and professionals who are trying to discover candidates to work with and who have the specializations that they need?
Well, I believe, I've been in the industry for a long time, as the white hair now testifies. And I'm a huge believer in the power of communications. I'm a huge believer in the opportunity, the professionalism, and the skill sets that people have in the industry. To be a good communicator is a unique skill set. It is a very valuable skill set. I believe communications is at the heart of pretty much business in general. And I say that as someone who's worked on the corporate communication side of large companies. I founded agencies, and someone who's also, as an entrepreneur, run my own businesses. And so all of that underscores, I think, the power and value of what it is that we do. When the idea for CommunicationsMatch really was actually sort of part of the genesis of it, what came out of my experience at Prudential, I was head of international communications and then communications for the US businesses. I was based for Morgan Stanley and Deutsche Bank in other parts of the world. And during my career on the corporate side, we were always looking to hire the best agencies and professionals. And the challenge was always, when you were looking, how do you find the best firms? And as we were thinking that, as I'd started and I'd done another couple of technology startups in the past, and I thought, well, this is a technology opportunity. It's an opportunity to, how can we help? And I think this is kind of the critical thing, is how can we help companies find communicators with unique and specific skill sets at the time they're actually looking? And the flip side of that is, how do you as an agency, and how can we help agencies be found when clients are looking? And the core thing I've always believed is that every agency is different. Every client is different. I actually fairly recently wrote something called the idea of think like a unicorn. in a way, we're all unicorns as agencies, we're unicorns as companies. And so helping companies find the agencies with the skill sets that are good fit is critical. And I think, and that goes the other way around. There's nothing more frustrating if you're an agency or an independent practitioner, or you're a freelancer and go, you read somewhere where someone got hired and you go, what was I should have been part of that search, because these were the skill sets that I have and I could have brought my capabilities to the table. And so that was really the founding idea, this principle of the technology platform. And that, I think, fits in the evolution of communications and the continued growth of communications, over the last, been in the industry for more than 30 years. I hate to say it out loud, but that's the reality. There's no doubt it has constantly been evolving. And the skill sets that people are looking for, in many cases, are increasingly specific. But it's not necessarily by industry. Like it is by communications areas of expertise, digital marketing. We've become an increasingly specialized industry with individuals who've got these unique capabilities. Helping people get found is part of the way in which we can increase efficiency in terms of making sure that I've got the skill sets, I'm found by clients when they're looking. That's the goal. It's also, I think, about the efficiency of keeping, when you actually, as a company, and obviously wearing that hat, if you find the individual or the firm that has got the industry or communications expertise you're looking for, you then have the tools to talk to them and engage with them, because CommunicationsMatch is not about making choices for people. It is about giving them the tools to find skill sets that they're looking for and then engage. And that's the way we've looked at it. And I think as over time, this process will continue to be important as the industry continues to grow and evolve.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So how about we get into the presentation so that we can talk to people a little bit more about how CommunicationsMatch works and why we're looking for this to work for PRSA Jersey. So, a couple of things that I think are worth noting is that, as I said, the idea for CommunicationsMatch, and we should be specific here, that the CommunicationsMatch technology platform is powering the PRSA New Jersey finder firm in the same way that it powers the searches behind national finder firm. Same way it's actually been incorporated into other platforms, ComPro, Counselors Academy. The platform itself, which is really the CommunicationsMatch technology, is flexible enough for it to be used in a range of applications. And this is by design, because the good thing is what it does is it brings, so for an agency that creates a profile, those who see it will come from a range of different sources, which is to everyone's benefit. But the key thing here is actually what we've been talking about, and why we're working together, is that the view here is that in a market like New Jersey, there are a lot of companies that would like to find agencies, freelancers, or service providers who are based in New Jersey. It's not exclusive, but there is a sense of community. There is a sense of trust around membership of PRSA and of the chapter that provides a sense of, if I'm searching for these particular skill sets and that organization is a chapter member, then that's something I can trust. And that is in essence how we are building how the tools work for PRSA
New Jersey's Find a Firm. It's to create a search path and build on the community that already exists around the chapter that helps clients in New Jersey find New Jersey agencies, but not exclusively, because it also helps agencies be found by any company anywhere in the country that is using the platform to find agencies. So we started with the search tools, then recognized that, we all hate RFPs, including me, but we built the platform in a way in which that was designed to streamline that process, because clients are using RFPs. Now, agencies should make the choice whether it makes sense to participate or not. My philosophy and the philosophy of CommunicationsMatch has always been create the opportunity where you can streamline the RFP process, give agencies the information they need to make the decision. Do you want to participate or not participate? That's sort of the core idea about the RFP tools. And so far, we have had more than 250,000 searches, as you said, Stephanie, on the platform. And the goal is obviously to grow that. This is not about, and it's worth noting that 250,000 is an indication that people obviously are using the platform, but it is about qualified lead. It is about when someone is searching, they are looking to hire. So it's about quality, not necessarily huge numbers of traffic that may be random. The purpose here is to go, if someone finds your agency on the platform and then reaches out directly, that the agency professional, whoever it is, can go, that's someone who's actually genuinely interested in hiring me at the time they're looking to hire. So a couple of things are worth noting in terms of how it works, and we'll start with clients. And as I said, I was on the corporate side for a long time. The way the platform we built the platform from the beginning was to make sure there were no kind of hurdles or barriers to clients being able to find agencies that are a good fit. So for a company, there's no cost to search. The second thing that was really important is to make sure, and this is almost like the behavioral search pattern that companies go through. I used to go through it all the time when I'm looking to hire. I was looking to hire firms with specific industry expertise and communications expertise. Could be an agency of record assignment, could be just a project. I remember when I was at Prudential, one of the searches that we were looking for was, I need a freelance communications person to support an economist. Very specific, very narrow cast at the time. This is a while ago now, but at the time it was, how do I find that specific person? And that is one example of the ways in which we expect, which clients do use the platform. There's specific need. Let's find. There's another way of looking at it, which is to look over the horizon. We've always relied on, for a long time, word of mouth. And I used to get many requests for, who do you know is any good? And that works to some extent because you have some experience and know who's there. But you want to see over the horizon and know who is actually out there, who is qualified, and that is what the platform does. So when agencies create a profile, which we'll talk a little bit more about, that we're giving the search criteria to get very specific about the types of firms they're actually looking for. And I think that reflects a specialization that goes on in the industries. For RFPs and RFQs, the tools which were called Agency Select are designed to really make the process of creating an RFP very simple, quick, easy to do, and to give the client the choice of doing one of two things. To send directly and in a way that is confidentially an RFP to agencies that they know are qualified. So that can be done selectively. You choose, create a short list, send an RFP that's template based and customized out to, let's say, 5 firms. Maybe it's slightly more, but the idea is not mass RFPs. Very specific. Here are the firms that we want to search, that we want to include in the RFP, and send the RFP out. And that process is very efficient, streamlined, because the goal is to get people to the place of going, I have enough information as the client to know that this is a firm I actually want to talk to. This should be, again, a takeaway from most people for everyone, is to go, this isn't unlike some other tools that are out there and processes. What we don't do is tell people who to hire. Companies know best who they think are a good fit. We're basically making those connections through the PRSA New Jersey finder firm within New Jersey. We're basically helping the clients find firms that they actually then want to go out and talk to. So the cost so now it's sort of from a agencies and professional standpoint, the key steps are to register and to create a profile. Some of the larger firms in the chapter already have profiles, but there's an opportunity. There are a lot of firms that actually don't. So as we promote this with press releases and collectively through our engagement with communicators and corporate firms in the state, creating a profile is the key to being found. That obviously is, if there are not profiles, there are not enough people who've created profiles, the tool's not necessarily going to succeed. It is very important for clients to go, yes, I've got the firms that, and I can search for the firms that I think are relevant for my particular search, and individuals, that will bring more of them in. It will become as a valuable tool as part of their search process, generating more opportunities. The process of creating a profile is quick and easy. Starts with PRSANJ.org and looking under resources. And then you register. Once you get into our side of into the technology platform, once registered, that then it's sort of a very simple step-by-step, follow the prompts, create a profile, which you can manage at any time. And then you basically, once that's created, if you choose a comprehensive, we give options of individual profiles, agency profiles, directory, and comprehensive, based upon the categories of what most people are actually out there. And there's also a service provider version. So the key thing then is to, and in my experience, it is comprehensive profiles are the best. As a friend of mine who is the senior communications guy at one of the biggest banks in the US said to me, look, I need all the information in a profile so I can make the decision that this is someone I actually want to really reach out to and engage with in a very select, very specific way. A comprehensive profile on PRSANJ, on the finder firm, also includes the ability to contribute to the PR Insights blog. It includes the ability to upload recommendations, include awards. One of the things that we will be doing is creating search categories for Pyramid Award winners, just as ways to kind of help firms find agencies by the categories that really matter to them. Firms can create short lists, and then once a profile has been created, that provides the opportunity to respond to RFPs that have either been sent directly to agencies or posted and made publicly available. So last thing here is that when the video goes out, and we've created a number of resources that are actually under the National Finder firm, but they're clicks here. These are sort of short explainer videos, no more than 3 minutes long, and they show the process of of how you search for agencies and professionals from a client standpoint, how to create a profile, and then actually how to create and respond to an RFP. So there are resources there. One of the things that we also focus on in here, and I'm very focused on, is, I'm always available. Actually, it's part of the beauty of the technology is that you can actually create profiles relatively simply without our need. And you can manage those things. You can log in and go and change them. But when help is needed, both myself and my team are always available, and we try and be as responsive as everyone looks for. That is the advantage of, because it's technology driven. It's rare that people actually really need to pick up the phone and have a conversation. But if you do, I'm there.
We are. Thank you for that. So I'm going to take a pause here to ask the audience, all of our attendees, if anyone has any questions. I do have additional questions that I want to raise. There we go. I do have a few other questions that I want to raise with Simon while we're all together, but also wanted to take a minute to ask if anyone has a question or a comment that you wanted to add at this point. If you are more comfortable, you can send it directly to me if you want a little bit more privacy, or you can just come off of mute and share your question or comment. So the offer still stands. If you want to send a question or comment before we wrap up, you can certainly send it directly to me. But in the meantime, I do have a couple of questions for you, Simon.
Sure.
So, right, the PR industry has undergone tremendous change, definitely in the past 20 years, but I would say even within the past 5 years, just astronomical. But a lack of diversity in the profession still persists. And many studies indicate that the industry is struggling to attract Black, Asian, and Latinx professionals to pursue PR as their career. And so data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics from 2022 indicates that PR specialists identify 81% identify as white, 12% as Black, 2.4% as Asian, and 11.9% as Latino or Hispanic. I think we all can agree that there's always going to be a need to hire and retain and meet the perspective of diverse team members and partners to reach all of our audiences. And the talent is there. There's no difficulty in finding people when you're intentional about creating more diverse and inclusive teams and partnerships. I don't know about you, but personally, I want to be a part of a workplace where there are different viewpoints and solutions, where there's a deeper understanding of customer needs and wants, there are stronger client connections, and where we deliver sharper insights on trends and more meaningful outcomes. So we all play a role in shaping the narratives and fostering inclusive brand images for our companies and clients. And the lack of ethnic diversity underscores a growing need for strategies that genuinely reflect and resonate with an increasingly diverse tapestry in the US. So with that, I'm going to start my question by sharing a quote by Brene Myers, which is, "Diversity is being invited to the party, inclusion is being asked to dance." How does this translate for consultancies and agencies that are owned and operated by people from historically underrepresented communities? In other words, how can we leverage the growing communications-based database, CommunicationsMatch database, to advance the industry's efforts to increase diversity?
I'm a huge believer in the importance of diversity. I've lived and worked in 7 countries around the world, and I've been very used to being operating in different environments, and the value of having diverse teams is incredibly important. And actually, a shout out to Prudential. When I was there, we had, and I assume it's still the case, we had a very diverse team, and it was a very strong team because we reflected, the communities with which the company was actually engaging. And we actually did and Prudential has done some pretty extraordinary communications-oriented things in when it comes to diversity. So I've always been a big believer, and my team when I was at Pru was a very diverse team. And one of the things that was built into the DNA of CommunicationsMatch was diversity. So one of the search criteria on the tool, on the it's part of the Find a Firm tool. It's just built into the technology, is the ability to search for diverse firms. And so we have women-owned firm, we have diverse firms as search criteria. The expectation, and this is one of the things that's always evolved over time, the platform continues to evolve. I think anyone who's been around technology platforms probably knows that you have to constantly evolve, like all of us are evolving all the time. So the expectation over time is that we will continue to actually figure out ways and add more information that helps diverse firms and diverse professionals be found and hired when companies are looking. My belief is that there should be no agency search conducted that does not have at least a diverse firm or professional as part of that search. And that it's not just about, someone once said to me a while ago, it's like, well, diversity is about multicultural marketing. And I'm like, no, it's not. It really needs to be. There are some very, very talented firms and individuals out there who just happen to be diverse. The tools are part of the solution, I think, to encourage people to hire. But what the responsibility of companies looking to hire is to make sure that you're identifying and adding diverse firms into the hiring process and the search process. So the Find a Firm tool has those categories which allows those firms to be found. There is also a responsibility, I would say, on the part of diverse firms. If you're not on searchable, if you're not making those efforts to, partly it's like knocking down the door, because some of these things, there are hurdles, right? But there is a responsibility. If you want to be found, you need to be on on our platform. You need to be thinking about maybe other platforms, wherever it is. It's important to be there so that you are in the conversation and in the mix. And my goal has always been to make sure that that actually happens, and that is part of the process.
Thank you, Simon. We're going to go to the question that we have in the chat, which is, would you please explain how the New Jersey focus affects how prospective clients might find the resources that create profiles through this partnership between the chapter and CommunicationsMatch? And so specifically, this person indicated that they're based in New Jersey and work with clients here, some of whom wanted a local firm to work with, but many are located outside of Jersey.
So the way the partnership and the way we're working together as a chapter and from using the technology platform is we actually have the opportunity to, so on the chapter website, we have the page which is search for chapter member agencies. So it's the default search is, if you are a chapter member agency, you will be found. The goal is for more clients to be coming in, and you start with existing members of the chapter that are client members, to be using the tools to find local agencies. The goal, I think, Stephanie, is, as we've been talking about, is to use these search tools to expand, in a way, membership, but to bring more clients in who are in the state, who are looking to find New Jersey-based agencies, professionals, and freelancers. So the chapter website is a starting point for people to find members. We want to get more members on there. We want to get more firms on there. So it becomes the place where firms go. In a way, the benefit of the using the CommunicationsMatch technology in the background is that if you are in New Jersey, by creating a profile, you will be found by anyone who is doing a search. And if they say, look, I want to do a search for an agency with specific skill sets, location doesn't really matter, they will be able to find you. So it works both ways. So one of the things that the way that I've always looked at the platform is, it needs to work for different people with different goals. One client may say, I just want to hire a New Jersey agency that's down the street from me. And another client will say, it doesn't matter where the agency is based. I want the best possible firm for whatever that assignment is. And then they can find firms using the tools in that way too. Does that help?
It does. Thank you for that explanation. I'm going to go to my next question, which is, I'll just start a little bit by talking about the state of the economy. So New Jersey's principal industries are life sciences, information technology, financial services, manufacturing, and transportation. And based on the people who are in the room with us today, I know that at least 3 of those industries are represented either through companies, agencies, or consultancies. So there are several ways that PR and comms in these and other industries contribute to New Jersey's almost $680 billion gross state product. One is through job creation, employing professionals from strategists to account executives, copywriters, and social media specialists. Our work provides income, tax revenue, and just generally adds to the overall health of the state's workforce. As we talked about earlier, a growing PR industry in New Jersey also supports other sectors. So we collaborate with advertising agencies and marketing firms and web designers and boost the creative juices and the communication sector in the state's economy that way as well. Our PR campaigns also help boost New Jersey businesses' brand awareness. We attract new customers and build trust with stakeholders as well. And this can lead to increased sales and revenue, and again, more jobs across industries. And I think we have, Simon and I have certainly talked before in other conversations around, well, people try to make fun of New Jersey. Positive PR campaigns happen to highlight everything that's good about New Jersey and that has the potential to be great about the Garden State. And that attracts tourists and investors, which benefits hospitality industry, real estate. So as the industry continues to grow throughout 2032, there are critical needs that will drive New Jersey-based PR comms organizations forward and propel them to flourish during these times, like an increased demand for strategic communications and a steady rise of digital communications. Our focus on crisis communications and the ever important need of measurement and ROI. So PRSA New Jersey is committed to helping New Jersey-based PR and comms businesses grow by partnering with other businesses within the state, to the question we just had a second ago, outside of the state and across the region and country. So Simon, from your perspective, what other considerations should our members take into account when preparing for the future of PR in New Jersey?
I think the expectation is, so I would say, let me start again and sort of go. The starting point is communications is really important. Look, I know from my own company, doing communications well, really important. I've had a different perspective as someone who's running a company. It changed my perspective than being a consultant. And so the bottom line is that the value of what we do is tremendously important as the industries that we mentioned at the beginning grow. I knew that when I was at Prudential, that if I'm looking for skill sets, I need someone who's got financial skill sets. I'm looking for different skill sets. So this is actually really important to find. Now, someone told me actually once a little while ago, which was an interesting expression when I was doing another startup. She said, look, when the pie is small, people fight over the slices. And the idea was in a small market, you go, I need to battle with the person next to me for exactly the same piece of business. The reality is that the pie is actually very big, and at a state level, there is enormous opportunity. In fact, the biggest opportunity for communicators in general is going to be to help people find each other when they are looking to hire. I cannot tell you how many times when I was doing the research and the work around sort of developing the platform, when heads of corporate communication said, I was looking to hire some, but I couldn't find them. So actually I gave up. Or the RFP process was too complicated. So actually the hurdle for doing it was too much to make it worthwhile. So the opportunity for us collectively, I think, is to help make those connections, for agencies to recognize that, they are unicorns, which I think most of us do, differentiated, different, that you're not necessarily there are other firms you're going to be in a competitive set with, but actually based upon the particular client and what they're actually looking for, one of those firms is going to be the best match, and it's generally probably going to be yours. So having the discipline and embracing this idea of going specific skill sets, that's what we've got, forging these types of conversations, making the connections so that this happens more regularly, that where people find the right firm for that particular assignment, not only is basically a qualified new business lead, it is actually, in my belief, and based upon research we've done in the past, a foundation for longer term, better quality relationships. Agency turnover has always been an issue in this particular industry. If we can make those better connections at the beginning, then we have also the opportunity of forging longer and stronger relationships that are economically better for all concerned.
Perfectly encapsulated sort of what was behind what drove this partnership, right? Striving meaningful business connections, stronger relationships, and namely the economy. I'm going to move into our next question, which is in the chat. Does contributing to the PR Insights blog help leverage a PR firm's presence to prospective clients? And if so, how has that success rate been so far?
So this is it's a great question, and I'm going to actually answer it in a couple of ways. The first one is communications. PRSA New Jersey's Find a Firm is not a silver bullet, or it's not necessarily the right term to be using, this week, but it is not, let's say, a magic tool solution, being careful about language, that solves all problems, right? The tool is a tool that will help clients when they're using it find firms that are a good match. But it is one of the new business paths that all agencies will be taking and should be taking. So the point here is that this is an additional source of qualified leads, and it's complementary within the existing solutions that are out there. The PR Insights blog is a tool to post and share thought leadership that you create, and we're not actually, if you want to rewrite something or just do a précis version of an article and link to the original that may be on your company website, that's all doable, as long as we're not taking exactly the same content and putting it in two places, which creates SEO issues. The value of doing it is that we will also post content that is posted onto the PR Insights blog and share it with our community. Actually, people who signed up to receive emails, that automatically gets pushed out when a contribution is made. Now, by the way, contributions do get read by our editors, generally me, but so there is a quality control process that actually goes on. But once it's done, once you've contributed, it gets posted. So here's the additional thing that I would just say. Like anything, what you put into it is going to shape what you get out of it. So if you have a new place where you can contribute to the Insights blog, then make sure that you're sharing it. We'll share it, but make sure that you take advantage of it. I write a lot for ComPro, and I've written for other trades in the past. I enjoy doing it. But when I post something, I then go out and I kind of share it because I want to make sure that it gets to my audiences. And I think that is the general way you should be thinking about, the Find a Firm tool as create a comprehensive profile, take advantage of all the functionality it offers, and then, make sure you share. Do the work, because you have an opportunity to then share that with clients or other thought leaders that are very focused. And I was talking to someone the other day about growing new business. In general, rather than kind of scattershot, spray and pray, a very focused approach and leveraging something like the Insights blog posts with maybe the 10 or the 20 prospects that really you value most. That is a powerful way to use something like that and that ability.
Thank you. Our next question is, excuse me, is the platform a venue for searching for agencies that provide pro bono services?
Yes. In the categories of search categories, we do have not-for-profits. There are about, I think at the last count, about 180 different industry categories that can be selected. So you've got not-for-profits, you've got pretty much every major industry, you have every major industry, and subcategories in there. And then in the areas of expertise, that actually is a complementary set of communications expertise, not-for-profit expertise. So you can go down the path of getting very specific about what you're looking for and the expertise that people have. Now, I would make a couple of additional points. Number one is that as anyone's looking at it, if you go, there's a category that's missing or that would be good to add, just let us know and we can add it. We can add these things dynamically, because I'm not all wise and I don't necessarily know everything, but those categories are there. I'll give you a quick example of how specific, and sometimes this kind of works. So I had someone post an RFP and they were looking for a Haitian Creole speaking social media person to support a food, an organization that was providing food in Haiti. So, Haitian Creole social media expert, we are getting very narrowcast, but that person was actually able to find exactly the person that they were looking for using the tools. That is pretty powerful. And that was an example where it's not a high-paying assignment, but it was very specific, and underscores, look, specificity is actually very valuable.
So we have just a few minutes left. I'm going to come back over to our presentation just for a second to thank our sponsors, Mike Worldwide and excuse me, the Rutgers School of Communication and Information Communications Department. I just want to remind everyone to share your feedback. I'll share the link to the survey with you in just a second. And again, once you share your feedback, you'll receive a unique link to access the recording of today's meeting. And then we have two events that are coming up on July 18th at noon, and again on July 23rd at 11:59 p.m. is the deadline for submitting any entries for this year's Pyramid Awards. So as I take a couple of seconds to bring the links into the chat for everyone, I'm going to ask again if anyone has any questions or feedback. You can enter it into the chat. You can send it directly to me, or you certainly can come off of mute and share your feedback or questions with the group. Simon, while we wait, do you have any closing comments?
So I would just say a couple of things. First one is that I'm a communications guy, right? So for me, this is all about actually trying to do something that supports the industry and producing something that supports the chapter. The idea of this is an important partnership for me, and I think there's a lot of potential. Part of the question I think earlier, which I didn't necessarily address, is that the number of searches, we know people are being found and they are being hired through the platform. The goal for us, I think, is to make sure that with the Find a Firm for New Jersey, that we forge more of those connections within the state. As a partner of the chapter, feedback is very welcome. I want to make sure that we listen and we evolve the platform in ways in which it makes it's most valuable to chapter members going forward.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you have any questions about the partnership between PRSA New Jersey and CommunicationsMatch, feel free to reach out to the PRSA NJ board at njprsa@gmail.com. I'll also include in the wrap-up communications information to contact Simon. Simon, if you wanted to provide your contact information here, you can, and then we'll include it again in the wrap-up materials.
Yeah, so I can be reached at either directly slocke@communicationsmatch.com or support@communicationsmatch.com. If you have any issues whatsoever, sometimes registration links sort of disappear as the email about challenges of getting things to people. They are challenges. Just don't hesitate to send me a note either directly or through the support emails.
I believe that those are two emails there. All right, wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we will talk soon. Take care.
Thank you.